think I see it. I think the light is working. Still not sure. I'm looking. I see it. Here it comes. Ta-da! Technology at its finest. Welcome, 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 welcome. How's everybody doing today? We're going to talk about clays, the people that are into special effect makeup, that are into getting into special effect makeup, into design, into anything that has to do with the aspect of creating. That's what this show is going to be all about. I look forward to rocking you out with the show, and let's roll. Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody today? Hope everybody's having a kick-ass day. My name is Johnny Brightich. I own a special effect company called Skull Asylum SFX Studio and Educational Center. I have not been teaching special effect makeup for the last since last year. Coronavirus happened, right? All of a sudden, everybody got nailed. Myself included, I got nailed. Just a lot of nonsense. Man, fuck, everything's slowed down, right? So I'm here today to talk to you guys about just a basic scenario in the regards to some of the clays that we use and what we use and how to save money and blah blah blah. That's usually my thing in regards to makeup and special effects and what have you. What we're going to do today is the first thing we're going to talk about is there's a plethora of clays, right? Oil-based, sulfur-based, wet, paraffin-based. There's so many. It's incredible the amount of stuff that's on the market today in regards to special effect makeup and things that, wow. There's even like there's a kind of epoxy mold pasty scenario that's out there. We'll get into all the other chemicals, and you can mold with this, and there's just so many wonderful things that are out there that you can use to sculpt with. But we're going to just touch with the very, very, very basics with this one. I eventually would probably be doing classes from our studio, just like this live, to make sure that when we ask questions, or if you ask questions, or blah, 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 vice versa, it's right in front of us, so that we can give you the ins and outs of everything. Sounds good? Sounds cool? Would you be interested in something like that? I mean, I don't hear anybody saying anything. So we'll eventually start doing probably classes online, cheap too, really cheap, maybe like $20 for a 2-hour class or something like that, just to make sure that you're learning exactly what it is that you want to learn. I live here in Georgia. I used to have 300 students. The only way I think I'll be teaching now is right here. Anyway, if you guys like what I'm talking about, see that little sign over there, left and right there? There it is. Share, like, and share. That's me. So like this site and subscribe to the site, and you'll learn a little bit about special effect makeup. We will be interviewing lots of other special effect professionals in the industry. And we're going to get the ins and outs and stuff that they really don't tell you out there. Starting out, everything's bubblegum and ice cream when you start. Oh my God, I'm going to become an effect artist, and I'm so excited, and it's wonderful. I do it too. But at the end of the day, it's not all that you think it is. So always have something to fall back on. We'll talk about that another time. But the first clay I'd like to show you guys. We're going to talk to you a little bit about monster clay. I would say predominantly monster clay is one of the most used special effect clays today in the industry. I don't know of an effect shop in the world that does not use this stuff. You guys, as you see, you can get it from Monster Makers. This stuff is fantastic. Been out, I don't even know how long it's been out. I think I started using it about 10 years ago, so it's phenomenal. It melts incredibly. If you're doing a life cast, and the life cast that you're doing, and you need to do a positive right away, this stuff is unbelievable. You can do your life cast. Say you use silk, from Smooth on a Reynolds, and you do your first initial coat, your beauty coat per se, and then you go back and you add your body double and your bandages. As soon as it comes out, you can take hot Monster Clay. How hot? Well, that's another scenario. We'll get into that in a second. And you can just go ahead and pour it in on the inside of your negative mold, and you can, when you agitate it, it fills all those creases and picks up the wonderful details, and just a phenomenal, unbelievable product. If you are not familiar with it, the fuck are you doing? Go buy some and make something. Oh my God, you're starting talking about this and stuff. Go make some of this stuff. It's incredible stuff. So, so what they've started to do as of late too, as you guys can see, it's $29.75, 4.5 pounds for it. And right off the bat, people will say, "Oh my God, that's so expensive," right? Not really, because you buy other clays, use it one or two times. Water-based clays, you use it once, you throw it out, right? So this clays you can use a couple of times, 4 or 5 melts. You make your sculpture, you make your mold, blah blah blah. Take off the clay, go back and melt it, and after you go back and melt it, you can reutilize that same clay to do another sculpt, what have you. So at the end of the day, let's say you're making a monster mask, and you make 5 of them. Cool, right? Instead of spending, let's say, $20 for every time you use like wet clay, every single time you use $100, but then you do, let's say you do a little mask, a simple mask, and using 2 of those, and at the end of the day, you do the math, it pays off. Make sense? Cool. After the 4th or 5th time monster clay, it does start to get brittle. It starts to lose its oomph per se. And it doesn't, 4 or 5 times, after 5 times, I really won't melt it down again, and I won't add to it. A lot of people keep just feeding it. They keep new stuff, throw off a little bit, yes and no, but at the end of the day, when you're doing a job, do you really want to fuck around with something that could eventually crack or what have you? These guys, as you can see, they have it in all different types of hard, shores, soft, medium, and hard. The detail I personally have not used the soft. So anybody that's out there as an effect artist that's used the soft, let me know how you liked it. I use we use in the shop, we use the medium and or the hard. If you use the hard, hard is not something that you use every day, but if you're doing like positives that you need to have there, don't budge or move at all. You know what I mean? Don't even dent. You know what I mean? Even more mechanical scenarios, you would definitely want to use that monster clay hard. But it is difficult to use. It's hard. It's exactly that. It's hard. So you're gonna have to use. Sometimes you have to use hot knives and what have you. But for a pour, for a body part or something, let's say you're doing something really intricate and you can't have anything go wrong with that sculpture. Mass productive. Like say, for instance, done an arm cast. Just a whole arm, and that arm. It couldn't move at all. So if I used the soft, you touched it or something and you would get an indentation or something, you have to go back and try to fix it. It's not worth the suffering. No one gets paid to suffer, especially not me. So using the hard, it also allowed me to do multiple molds off that using platinum silicone. So that's just something to think about. This is a whole other world. Like I say, we're just going to talk about the ins and outs and how to get in doing some of the cool stuff that we do. Anyway, I would tell you the pros and cons with Monster Clay. Again, it melts wonderfully. It's unbelievable. It's the detail that it gets is disgusting. But it is very fickle. So, and that on that sense of wording, it does tend to shift, move. It'll distort in heat conditions. If you're working in your garage and it's 90 degrees in your garage, sometimes things slip and shift and you look at it wrong way, you can dent it, that kind of scenario. So when using Monster Clay, probably your best advice and going ahead and using it in an environment that's controlled. Make sense? Cool. Anyway, Monster Clay has incredible dynamics, as we've just been talking about. As you guys can see too, I just want to make sure that you guys know they have it in a brown color, and they also have it in a As you guys can see right there, they've got it looks like chocolate. The very first time I saw it, and I walked into a shop and somebody was using it, I was like, I didn't know what it was. I was like, well, fuck yeah, I'm gonna work here, and now I get to make cool shit. They made chocolate, so I thought it was awesome. Like I say, Monster Clay is just pretty incredible stuff. They have it in gray as well. The gray does work. It depends. Like some people use grays and Protelinas and Sculptex just for visual aspects. We'll get into that in just a minute, in a bit. The next thing I like to move on with you guys is ta-da, Laguna Clays. Laguna Clay has been around for an eternity. These are the guys that produce, as you guys can all see, the clays, glazes, equipment, as you can read there, what have you. They have just about everything that you could possibly fathom. Our go-to for wet clay, which is a water-based clay. It's got glycerin in it. It's got glycerin. Anyway, wonderful water-based clay, probably used predominantly for making monster masks, really big, fast layups. If you have to lay up something very, very, very quickly, wet clay is going to be the way to go. It's EM217 from Laguna. That's the code on it. There's a 210 as well. 210 is cool. EM210, nice clay, considered white clay. Great clay, doesn't have the dynamics and holding ability that, say, a wet clay does. Wet clay is the type of clay. I mean, me personally, if I'm doing a wet sculpt, they want you to let it get to a certain consistency where you see, that's the only thing about YouTube that sucks my ass. You have to do it. You have to feel it and do it. It's like, this is a kinesthetic scenario, man. You got to feel it, touch it. You have to. It's all the senses. When you do special effect makeup or as an artist, you got to know. But I will tell you, from this aspect of verbalization of it, it does get to a leathery consistency, right? Where a lot of other clays, they stay wet and what have you. It gets this really interesting leathery consistency, and it doesn't crack as much as the other wet-based clays, right? My understanding is there's just large amounts of glycerin in it. We use, when I am doing wet clay, I like to use 99% alcohol to dismiss my surfaces at times to smooth it out, and it does help a lot. It does dry up quicker opposed to water. If you start adding water and spraying water and spraying water, and all of a sudden you got this big slurry of snot, and then then you're waiting for it to dry, and then the top dried. So you got to have a lot of controls. It does take time and practice, like anything else in the world. So definitely keep your practice mode on. Sound good? If you can't get to the entire sculpture in one day, you can always take some paper towels, wet them, spray them with a mixture with water. Don't saturate them so it's slimy, and you can just lay them all over your sculpture, and then go back with plastic wrap and just completely encapsulate everything. No way that air can get in there, and it'll buy you some time to finish your sculpt. The price point on Laguna clays, it's going to vary from distributor to distributor. If you have a local distributor that does sell special effect makeup products such as a Reynolds or a Smooth On, you go ahead and go to those guys, and you're getting it for each block is 25 pounds. So you get a case which has two in a case, and it's roughly around $30. So it's not bad at all. But then again, it is a water-based clay, so it's a scenario where you got to work quick and make sure that you have the tools, and we'll get into tools in the whole 9 yards another day, just not on this show. But you check, like I said, go ahead and check out EM217, which is called wet clay. If I'm not mistaken, 90% of the things or 100% of the things that were sculpted at Walt Disney World, actually I think it was created for Walt Disney, wet clay, or they created it. I wouldn't be surprised. And it has microchips in it, so they knows what I'm kidding. You go ahead and check that out. That stuff is incredible. It's a wonderful clay. The guys that have been doing it for a very, very, very long time, they have the ability to, they've had the incredible ability to get unbelievable detail. This incredible detail on it. And I've learned if you're just getting into sculpting, it's going to be a little easier to do wet clay, but getting that super sculpture and that touch, it's all about the touch. These guys are, they're another completely different glyph scenario. So anyway, we're going to move on to let's see. Anyway, again, real quick, so you guys know, if you are enjoying anything that I'm saying to you, subscribe to my channel and you'll learn lots of wonderful things. And you'll also have access to information from somebody who's been suffering for 30 some years doing this shit. And I'm tired. No, I'm having an episode. I'm just kidding. Hit me up. I'd be more than happy to discuss with you or to talk to you in regards to what it is that you guys are, looking to do. If I can help you in any means. I didn't forget how difficult it was for me to come up as an effect artist or as a designer. And that's the thing. A lot of people, Johnny, you respect, the reality of the matter is I do special effect makeup. I do, appliances. I've done feature films. I've done stuff for Disney and more, blah, blah, blah. But I don't just do special effect makeup. I predominantly work, with silicone. I'm a shop guy. Let's be honest. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a shop guy. I don't like to be on set because I don't like actors. Some of them are cool, but I just don't care for them. And I don't like the fake bullshit of Hollywood. Just put me in my shop, hire me, I'll do my job. It'll look cool. Everybody will be happy. Right? All right, cool. And I get to watch horror movies all day and listen to old metal all day long. Can't beat that, right? Anyway, we're going to talk to you about another type of clay. This clay is called it's called Sculptex. Sculptex is an oil-based clay, non-toxic, non-hardening modeling clay that is sulfur-free. It is a wonderful, wonderful clay. It is one of my favorite clays in the world, not predominantly for sculpting, but I will tell you, for mold walls or for making walls of any kind, or for doing transfers or appliances, flat mold, blah, blah. This is the go-to, hands down. This is probably definitely the go-to clay. Which one do we use? As you see, they have soft, medium, and hard. I like to use the soft. The soft is wonderful. It's incredibly malleable. You can smooth it out. It's great. Love it so much. And you can use 99% alcohol to get it nice and super smooth. And there's a rare occasions, usually like if I'm doing a plaster mold, an ultracalc mold, or a hydrocal mold, where I will use 244 on the top of it very, very, very lightly, which will allow me to have an incredible mold release when it comes time to take it out of the mold. Anyway, Sculptex, fantastic. As you guys can see, it's right about a pound. Those little blocks are about a pound. I'm looking currently at the Engineer Guide, which is now Reynolds Advanced Materials. They do carry this product. It's $4.32, and it's great because, like I say, you can use it a trillion times, and it's fantastic. However, if you're on a budget, because it's the story of everybody's life doing this shit, the special effects, right? We're always on a budget. We don't have any money. Where's the money? Blah, 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 blah. One of the things that you can use, let's see, where do I have this? I have all these little tabs up there. Ta-da! Here we go. You're going to go to Brick in the Yard. You're going to go to, if you guys don't know who Brick in the Yard is, you guys need to do your special effect homework. Brick in the Yard is a wonderful distributor and manufacturer. They have just about every special effect product known to man. I'll do a show eventually on regards to just distributors. That'll be probably 2 shows. We'll go into Berman Industries. We'll go into, holy shit, Smooth On. We can go into BJB. We're going to go into all the different companies and what they do, what they offer, and the pros and cons. So there's going to be a lot of pros and cons, especially Smooth On to BJB. Anyway, Protelina, $41, as you guys can see, for 16 pounds. So if you do the math, it's a little over $2 and change, a little bit cheaper. It is almost identical to the Sculptex. Almost identical. However, I know all the effect guys are watching. Shut up, Johnny, you fucker. You know that it's more oily. It is oily. It's more oily. It's got a little bit more oil to it. Kill me. All the things on this show too, anything that I talk about has been from my experience. Am I a student every freaking day of my life? So if there's something that I can learn from somebody that's watching, I'm listening. You know what I mean? If you're an asshole and you get shitty with me, I'll be more than happy to respond to you. Trust me. Anyway, Brick in the Yard, as you guys can see, they have soft, medium, and hard. They, some people like to use it to sculpt with. Protalina, it's cool, as you guys can see. These guys are putting their walls on to putting, they're going to make a mold of this and putting up their wall separation walls, and you guys can see they come in these cool little perforated. They have two little perforations, so you can cut them into just tiny little strips if you need them. And like I say, to sculpt with, takes time. It's got a different feel. Here's the deal: all of the clays that you guys will be using, they all have a different feel for what job you're doing, correct? Have I ever used the hard Protalina on a job? Absolutely. It's wonderful for making props. It's hard, right? The only thing I don't like about Protalina, the soft is the only thing I'll use. I used the hard in an emergency a couple of times for props, for symmetrical shapes. The only thing is the medium and especially the hard tends to crumble. So it really doesn't serve me purpose. Can I melt this, Johnny? Nah, you can't really melt it. It doesn't. It's not a very meltable scenario. Anyway, if you just want to save some money, you're making a mold, go to the world of Protalina. Use your soft, and you should be pretty happy in regards to what it is that you're getting. The other thing is, we're going to talk about quickly. We initially were speaking about monster clays and how effective monster clay is. Remember this stuff I was just showing you? Isn't it lovely? It's beautiful. This there it is. Look at the sculpture on top. Oh my God, that's great. Anyway, we were talking about monster clay, but then what happens is then there's something wonderful about another clay by the name of Chavant clay. This company is called Chavant. Their clays are, I'm not going to show you a block of clay. Go look it up. It's a 1 pound block. It's a non-sulfur formulation. There's a soft, hard, and medium. I would say 90% of the time, any prosthetic makeup that comes out of our shop, we use on Dr. Sleep. We've used on different types of films. When I was working with Bob Kurtzman, we used a lot, predominantly Chavant medium. It's got, the dynamics are phenomenal. It has dynamics that I would probably say, fair to say that, hold on, let's look at you guys, because I gotta see you. It's I would say it's got dynamics that monster clay does not, right? It's an oil-based clay as well. I know that monster clay has paraffin in it. It's got wax in it. So when you do transfers on glass one day, you'll see it if you blend them out real hard. But anyway, the Chavant is an oil-based clay, so it blends incredibly. And it has some dynamic wonders that monster clay does not, and vice versa. So how the hell do we get the dynamics of both clays? Wouldn't that be awesome if we could do that? We can do that. It's called Shamonster. That's what we call it at the shop. Shamonster. That sounds kind of cool, I guess. Right? Shamonster. Anyway, Shamonster is a blend of 50% monster clay, medium or soft, preference, to 50% Chavant medium, soft preference, whatever you like. I like to do soft. It depends what I'm doing, right? But okay, let's do it. Make it this way: 1-to-1. Play with it. There's the dynamics of the two clays. They both melt wonderfully, right? Now you get 5 or 6 melts off of this. Yeah, it gets really brittle. But when the first 2 or 3 pours, hot pours into a mold for positives, for corrections, holy shit! I don't think there's a clay out there that I've seen that's better. There's Montu Melt and there's all these other different clays from Chavant that serve their purpose. But I think at the end of the day, this wheel rolls real good, so we stay with that. If you guys have any questions, and if you're watching, I'm listening. I'm right here. We're live. So if you have any questions, I'm listening. Go ahead and chat it up. Tell me something, and I'll answer your questions. If you're watching, say hello. Hello. Is anyone watching? Okay. Anyway, I was going to talk to you guys about too. The other thing about using monster clay, what you definitely were going to want to do when you start using monster clay and you start using Chavant, and you start using all these different types of clays, especially Sculptex. You're making molds, and you look at molds, and you see special effect guys, and you look at their stuff, and you say to yourself, "My God, how did they get that wall so perfectly level and even and smooth?" Fuck, I can't do that. It sucks. I was one of the things when I was coming up as an effect guy too. I was like, how the fuck did they get everything so smooth? I don't understand how they and so level and so the precision. You're here trying to cut it with a knife, and you're sanding it with a green scrubby, and you just can't. You couldn't seem to be able to do it. I'm going to go quickly here. I'm going to shut down a couple of these here windows that I have open, and I'm going to show you the trick of the trade on how to get your clay is absolutely pin straight. Bear with me one moment as I look for what it is I'm looking to show you. Hold on. And then I find it. And ta-da! We're going to find it, and I'll show it to you in just a couple of seconds. And listen, if you're a special effect artist, this is an absolute must that you must have at all times. Ta-da! If you own a shop, if you have a garage, I don't care what it is, you need this. You have to have it. Go buy it. It has this wonderful, it's a pasta machine. Of course it is. Wonderful. I've had my pasta machine for, oh my God, I probably had the same pasta machine I bought for $20 on Amazon. Look where I'm buying these things on Amazon, right? On Amazon for $20 back in the day. Now they're $33.99. They're totally worth it. One of the cool things that you guys can see as everything keeps changing, you'll see on this particular image that I'm going to show you right here, it's got a dial. See that dial? That dial is going to allow you certain thicknesses and to create perfect flashing for appliances, for flat molds, etc. So definitely something you want to look into when you get into the world hardcore of getting into clays. Cool. What else can I talk to you about? I don't want to make it too long. I got like 3 more minutes. I give myself 30 minutes for this. This was basically just an intro. I will tell you though. I'll give you a couple real quick trick in regards to melting clays. When you melt your clays, this monster clay comes in this wonderful little plastic tub, and you can just stick it in the microwave at intervals, 2 or 3 minute intervals, and you poke it down, you make sure you stir it so it doesn't break or separate. And don't overheat it because it's like napalm when it gets on your skin. So one of the things you definitely want to look into is getting something called a double boiler, right? You can get just a regular single burner and 2 pots, right? This is one way to do it. Put a little pot there, put some water in it. Say 2 or 3 inches of water, get a nice heavy steam, take a pot that fits on top of it that doesn't touch the water, that's a little bit more shallow, and you put your excuse me, your monster clay, your Monster, whatever you're using, and put it on low heat. The steam will take it, melt it naturally with that direct heat. Best way to melt it, or it can make your life a lot easier, and just go ahead and get a crock pot, put it on low heat, but it takes forever. But so if you're doing something in the morning, you're doing a prosthetic or an arm or something like that, and you need to know, you need to do that pour in the morning. As soon as you walk into the shop, go ahead and take your stuff, pour it in, and go from there, right? It'll take a couple hours. Depends on where you're from, right? If you're living in Minnesota somewhere, it's going to take forever. But take all your clay and you shave. And that's another thing we'll get into is like, how do you melt the monster clay? A lot of times people will take, they start chopping their clay. You strain trying to chop a block of clay that's like this thick. And you're straining and you're cutting these big ass blocks, and it takes forever just to cut it. And now you're sore from cutting clay, and then you put it in a container and it's thick, and you got to stir it all the time, and your crock pot, and then you're just shave it. Go to the thrift store and get an old cheese grater, and take your monster clays and cut them and just split them in half and grade them. It's going to save you a plethora of time, right? Some people like non-stick pans for monster clay, etc. I don't. I'm not. I don't say don't do it. I think it's wonderful. Just don't cook in that pan. Don't make yourself ravioli when you're in the shop. So we're looking to just talk. Like I say, this class, this introduction was just in essence on how to use your monster clays. You know how to use Chavant. Talk to you a little bit about wet clay. You know, sealing your molds, and you know what? Let me talk to you real quick about sealing your molds. When you're doing, for instance, something like, let's say you just did a mold, you just did a sculpture rather. It's a beautiful sculpture. You're ready to go, and you're ready to make a mold. Let's say you're using platinum silicone. You got to seal your mold. That means your sculpt. You got to seal that thing. It's got to be beautiful, right? Got to make sure it's nicely sealed because that platinum silicone, just in case there's an undercut, it doesn't stick or whatever. Is it absolutely imperative to put a sealant on a sculpture? Let's say Shamonster, paraffin, you got wax in there, you've got oil in there. Do I need to seal it? Is it an imperative that I seal it if I'm doing platinum silicone? No. Does it help? Well, that's what you do. You put sealant on it. You just finish the sculpture, you seal it. That's just the way it is. My advice on that is just use some crystal clear that you can get from any hardware store. Light mists, very light mists. So it's, it's going to look shiny like plastic. And let it dry. You'll touch it and it will feel smooth and like plastic. Obviously, don't touch your detailed area. And then you make your mold, right? You can make it in plaster and blah, blah, blah. You can go down the line. But you should always, always, always seal your mold. And the next thing I will tell you about, if you're going to the world of wet clay, you're going to get into that scenario as well with doing wet clay. But you're going to have to, spray it. I usually spray two times light mist. But remember, we're talking about wet clay. It's water-based, correct? So it is imperative that you control your sprays and look. Because when it dries, again, when you touch it, you won't feel the wetness of it. It'll feel like plastic, right? That's what you're looking for. If you miss a spot here or there, the only thing that sucks is that if you miss a spot, you have to go back on that spot. And sometimes it gives it weird ripples and stuff like that. So my advice is play with wet clay a little bit when you use it. Spray a piece, cast it. Just practice, little swatches. It's the best way to practice. To learn your materials and don't practice. Try not to practice on something that you're working for someone or you're trying to make money with. Probably not a good idea to practice on something like that. The next little, one-on-one that I'm thinking about doing is we're going to talk about tools for sculpting and where to get them. Because I see a lot of guys, I've seen people, they go to cinema makeup school, they go to these big schools, and they put together these $10,000 kits, and they don't know how to use any of it. And we're going to just talk to you about, save money, man. You know what I mean? Get there first. You got to learn. It's a cliche. You got to learn to crawl before you walk or run or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to show you some really cool places to get tools and what tools we use and what we use them for. Cool? All right. If you enjoyed the show, let me know. Comment if you have anything in particular that you're looking to do or you want to learn. I'm always more than happy to assist in any way that I can. Our shop is, we have that Dick Smith mentality at our shop. We learn it, we share it. You know what I mean? I love to share everything that I can with as many people as I can in regard to this art, as it's difficult. I'm not the best in the world. I'm not the greatest. I'm probably not even good. But it's always my pleasure to share with people that are trying to learn this art and don't want to go into the world of spending $20,000, $30,000 for a special effects school that doesn't promise anything. My advice to anybody, you've probably seen some of the videos before this, I would most likely, and to be fair to say, I would tell you to go to Stan Winston, and there's online. Stan Winston School online is the shit. You're going to learn a lot of stuff from there. There's a lot of books out there. We'll talk about that another day. I I totally appreciate you guys being here. Looking forward to seeing you again here soon. Hopefully, we'll see you guys soon. I'm gonna leave this on real quick. If you guys have any questions, our chat is live, and I'm gonna leave this on for just a couple more minutes. A lot of times, I've noticed when I do classes, or no, well, I don't know if this is even a class. It's just more of a little info. Anybody that has taken a class from me knows that my classes are very long and excessive and take 2 hours, and they're very technical. And so this is just more of a little pinch in the area of this is what it is, this is what it does. If you have any questions, like I say, go ahead and inbox. You can inbox us, send us a message, comment, and we'll respond to you. That's what we're supposed to do. Well, that's what they want us to do, but it doesn't mean. I'm kidding. It's going to happen. You guys have a killer day, and I hope to see you all really soon. And again, if you are interested in learning something in particular, let me know, and we can go over it. I will. Like I said, I'm really, giving some private information of private classes. If that's something you all are interested in, just go ahead and leave me a comment. I hope you learned a little bit something about some of the clays. Just want to touch base with you on it. Eventually, like I say, we'll be going into the shop and we'll show you step by step as soon as we get sponsors, because we're not sponsored. All right, guys. Have a lovely kick-ass day, and I hope you guys get it, because this industry is hard, but it's awesomely fun. You meet some really kick-ass people. Keep trying. Don't let anybody bring you down, because there's going to be haters out there all the time. The only reason there's haters is because the haters have no fucking talent, and they have no idea other than to punch their fucking clock 9 to 5. Oh, sorry, having an episode. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys really soon.